Hi guys, so for today's video I'm going to review this 17-piece hobby knife set from Arteza. They did send this for my review, free of charge, and of course all opinions are my own. I will have a link in the description box for these items. It will be an affiliate link, and so if you use those links to make any purchases, I will make a small commission from that click. So there will also be a 10% discount code in the description box for you to use, and so you can get 10% off your purchase. So I do have a couple things, so I'll show you. Today I'm going to review this, but I do have, waiting for one other item, but I'm going to be also reviewing the 14 acrylic colors, and these are really cool. They're acrylic paints, and they're like in like pouches, like tubes. They're really cool, so I was looking forward to trying that out. And then a lot of you guys have asked about these, if I had tried them before, and I had not, so I have the 60 colors of the Mica Powders. Again, you can use these with your stamps. You can just add them into your paint. You can put them on your nails. You can, like, there's so much you can do with these kind of things. Put them in your bath bombs and soaps, and I mean, there's just a lot. So I am definitely going to check these out. I might even try a couple out later, because what we're going to do today is try to carve a stamp, or a couple of stamps. So maybe I'll try one out just to kind of get a little intro on that. But look forward to that more in-depth review in the next videos to come. So let's open this up. So my plan with this one, like I said, was to cut some stamps, and like I did the stamps with the erasers the other day, and you guys really liked that. So today I'll have some eraser, and then I have some also stamping material that you can carve from. So we'll try that out. But let's open this up. Oh, fancy. I like really nice hard case. I think it's very sweet and cute that it comes with its own little cutting surface. Little cutting mat there. Okay, I thought I felt magnet in here, and that's what it is. So hold on, this is a little bit off. Be careful. These are sharp implements here. I'll put that back in its place. Put everything kind of, there we go. So obviously this slipped out of somewhere. I think this one was probably here. That's what it looks like. And this guy was going to be in this. So basically, to use these, you have all these different handles, and I suppose it's what you like. This one's a little bit thinner, right? And this one's a little bit thicker. I kind of like this little thin one. It feels more manageable for me. This one's a little bit bigger, a little chubbier. I like that too, though. And then this one has a grip on it, more like a tool. That's interesting. I like that. So I'm going to leave the blades that are in that one. This is more your basic tool. Again, I'm going to show you in this first one how to switch them out, but it has, this is really, really nice blade. Really long. So for cutting erasers, you want a pointy blade like this, like a 45-degree angle, a little sharper. But some of these other ones are really great too, like this rounded one, to really get in larger areas and kind of scoop those out. This little guy is a little more fine. So I think these are all going to be really great for that kind of thing, even just to get rid of a large area. On the box here, it does tell you a little information as far as why you might want to use a different type of blade. You know, like this one says narrow tip blade for use with thinner materials, for stenciling, scoring, and etching, you know, for heavy duty chiseling and trimming. So it does give you some information there for whittling, shaping, carving, kind of what I mentioned, like if you want to carve out a bigger piece, we have this guy. So we have this, and I'm assuming you're just going to screw it tight, yeah. So I'm holding on to this piece, but really it's this piece that removes, so I'm holding kind of both the little head part and this to open it up. And then all you're going to do is just take your blade, whatever it is that you want to use, put it in there, and tighten it back up. So I might start out with this one, because like I said, I like the thin, how nice and fine it is. We'll see. And what I'm going to do is put it to the side for just a minute. And I have a little piece of stamping block, but this is basically just an eraser from the Dollar Tree, as you can see, and I just cut it up. So if you need more information about the basics, I'll link my video that initially did. I'm going to cut a little piece away from it because I wanted this to be like a square. Cuts really nice. And all I'm going to do is just freehand this one. And basically I wanted to start off with like a little square in the center. And I'm not going to cut the square out. We're going to cut into that. And as you can see, it's just freehand, so it's a little more kind of fun. And I want this one to be a little bit thick, the line. And then another one out here. Normally you want to make your lines a little nicer and straight. Straight, what I mean is like nice and thick. Not necessarily straight. And then I think the edge, I'll just do something fun with that when we get there. Actually, I'll have to still draw that. So we'll leave the edge there as part of the design. But I do need a line to carve on. Okay, now I'm going to carve into this. So we either can hold in your hand like this and work with it, or you can leave it on your surface, whatever you prefer. Let me get a little bit closer. Hopefully that's good. So whenever you're carving, what I want to show you is what you want to keep. You don't want to cut into that area. You want to cut away from that area, okay? So like I want to keep this whole black piece. So I'm going to do is insert this, and hopefully you can kind of see the angle I'm at. I'm not up and down like this, and I'm not carving into it like this. I'm out this way. So you cut away. And you can just turn it, but I'm going to go ahead and take it out because I want the lines to be a little, what's the word? A little straighter, right? Because it's a square. But if you want to curve around, then you would be more curved. Okay? In there. And now to remove that piece, what you normally would do is just come close to there and now cut towards it. Okay, towards what we just did. I could have done that very easily from this edge. That way we can kill two birds with one stone on that one, but I'm just going to come in and try to get rid of this, and hopefully, so as you can see, I'll bring this up a little closer. These little pieces can be removed now. And depending how closely you cut it or where, it might be easier to remove than it is for me right now. So hopefully what you're understanding is that we made like a V. I cut down into it, right? We cut away and then back towards it, so that makes like a V. And now for this one, I'm going to cut again away from that area. And for me, it is easier for me to hold it in my hand. Again, I'm angling away from the area that you want to keep. Okay, and some of that's already ready to come away because earlier when I cut into it. And now we cut towards it again. Right? So you're making like a V channel that just cuts out. And then here, again. So what you see is what I'm showing you is how you can use these kind of tools for carving. And I'll do the same thing on the next level and the next level. So the next level, we can start with this one, go out, or that one, go in. But since, like I said, we can kind of kill two birds with one stone, what you can do is carve this one out. Right? I'm going towards that. And then when you come back and carve this one in, you can kind of make those two meet. And now I can carve this whole piece out without having to do one side and then the other side. So hopefully you see what I'm doing. Again, out towards the void that you're trying to cut away. And then again on this side doing the same thing. And those two just happen to meet up, right? So I'm going to do that around this edge and around this, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've already come around, and that was super easy, and it's kind of interesting the way the design looks as you're cutting. It looks really nice. So the edge is going to be very, well, we'll stamp and see what we think. A lot of times I'll come back through the edge and still etch out that, just so it's a little more scratchy, just like what we did. Again, some people like to use rubber erasers and kind of come in here and pick out any of the little fluff that might be left in here. This was a super quick project. I would use my stays. You know what? I always use stays on. Let me use something else just so it's a little funner looking. I'll use this bundled sage distress oxide. And basically what you're going to do is test your stamp. So you can see that. I'll back up just a little bit in case here. And let's give it a stamp. That's actually really great. I like it already. So I can see that there's one little piece right here that's kind of odd, right? And it's right here. Hopefully you can see that. It's this little green piece right here. So I'm just going to trim that away. Just make sure that's gone. And basically that should take care of it. I do see there's some extra rubber hanging around there. Okay, I'm gonna wipe that down again with my little towel, and we can stamp it again. And we just made a cool, fun stamp that can give you a geometric pattern wherever you like. Pretty cool. So one other thing I want to show you is kind of how to make your own words, right? Which is not the easiest thing. So that one's going to be a little more involved, and let me grab a piece of paper so we can do that, and I'll be right back. So I just have a scrap piece of paper here, and I'm just going to write the word create. I think that's a fun word, and however you want to write it. And I'm going to make it kind of thick, so I'm just going to kind of so I like A's that look like just basic A's, but I like the ones that go like this, so I'm going to do that. Makes it a little bit harder because that little point at the bottom. So I'm just going to scribble out this word. And then I'm going to make it a little darker. You don't have to, well, I was saying you don't have to use a pencil, but you kind of do actually, because you need the graphite to go onto your eraser. And I'm going to cut around this word. That's how we're going to get this cut out. So it's a little bit different. You can also just cut into the words. If you cut away the letters, everything else that's around it will stamp, but I want the letters themselves to stamp. So I do want to make it a little bit thicker. So I'm just going to go around and make the word a little bit thicker. And then I'm going to transfer this to our black. Now, if you were just writing directly onto your block, you would have to write backwards, right? Because the word needs to be backwards, so when you go to stamp, it'll be correct. But since I wrote it on here, I'm going to turn this over onto our block. It's already going to be backwards, okay? So as you can see, it'll start with ETA, and the not just written backwards, but the letters backwards, okay? So you got to make sure to do that, or else it's not going to come out right. I'm trying to see if this fits on here, then I'll just use another piece of eraser. Oh, it does. I also have some pink stuff, but you know what? Let's make it easy. So if all you have is eraser, it'll work. So I just want to make sure. And I'm just going to turn it over on there. And you can rub it really good with your hand, with your tool, if you're very careful. You want to make sure you're rubbing the whole thing nicely and that doesn't move too much, because you don't want to get like a ghosting. It'll make it harder for you to know what to do. That looks good. Okay. So there's our word, obviously backwards. So that's what I'm saying. If you're just writing straight onto the rubber, make sure that you are writing it backwards. Backwards word, backwards letters. Okay, that's what you're looking for. Okay, so this time we're going to cut away everything but the letters. So I don't know where you want to start, but let's say we're on the E. Again, what you want to keep, you're cutting away from. So I would get in here, cut away from that, right on the line, and then turn this around, follow that, and that should pop out. Okay, it might not pop out the first time. Maybe you missed it. Maybe you didn't push enough so that they both meet. And I want you to see, I'm not digging super deep into the eraser. Basically just the tip of this is going in there. Again, I'm going to do these middle sections. And if you have it down, you know, you can do that too. And then this guy. And it pops out. It takes a while to practice to get that to pop out. Like I said, you might end up having just to gouge it out until it's good, you know. But again, there's that. Okay. Looks pretty good. And now we're going to cut everything around. So you can come in and just like on this R, I'm going to go down there, I'm going to go down right here, around this edge. Follow this here. And it's easier to turn the rubber piece you're cutting into than to use your hand to do those areas. Okay? So I just cut the R. On the C, I'm just going to go down here, down here. Again, just hold this still and move the rubber part with your hand. And now we're going to carve out, right? You saw I was going to start coming in. You want to carve out because, again, you don't want to do anything that's going to cut your letters away. This is kind of easier to hold it in your hand for me, but we'll just do it this way for now. Okay, so all of them, we're going to just carve around them. And then you can come in and either cut away a lot of this or just kind of push towards where you're cutting. And you can tear it away. Now you can see that there's a bevel there from where you cut the C. Now, like I said, you can cut a lot of this away if you don't want it here. Because otherwise you have to actually trim all that away. So if you just kind of come in, cut it away, then all you have to do is just cut away a little bit of this stuff. Now, I'm going to switch this out because I like to use this one, but I do want to show you that, let's say you want to use one of these bigger pieces. I don't know, let me try, I don't know if this one will work on rubber. I've never tried this one. I know maybe that one would. Before I even start, let me see. Yes, that's awesome. Now you see I didn't even put it on this thing. I just put it on my, held it with my hand. But let's say you got this guy and you have a large area to cut away. This, you know what? I might have to put this in a bigger handle. That's what the bigger handle's for. See this guy's little and look how small that is. So we need to put this into a bigger handle, but I could switch it out and you could use this one to push away, cut away big areas at a time, as you can see. That's really nice. So that's kind of why I really wanted this kit, because I'm like, well, I have a craft knife, but like these other bits that we can use here and there that might help you out was worth checking out. So, okay, I'm going to pop this back on and I'm going to go around all the pieces just like I showed you. You always cut away from your letters so that you're not gouging into your letters, right? I'm not going to cut this way. From here, I'm going to cut out, right? The T away from the center of my letter. Again, away. So I would just go around all the letters and then come in and remove the excess, okay? I'll be right back. Okay. So again, just, make your little divots. Like, always, since you already carved away from the letter, when you come back and carve into this way, that little piece will want to come away, just like it did with the square that we made, It just carves away. All right. Now let's see what this looks like. And just cleaning it up a little bit. And this time I'll use tumbled glass. See what happens. And then after we do that, we can see if we need to clean it up at all. Oh, so I had seen that this little piece was still there when I was carving. And I thought that actually kind of cute, so I kind of left it. So this is the whole thing with hand-carved stamps, is that you're going to have little nicks and little scrapes and little extra pieces from when you cut it away that maybe you like, maybe you don't. So if you don't like it, you just clean it up. You just come back with your knife, around the A here, kind of get rid of this. If you don't like that, just come back in, clean it up. But if you do like it, you leave it, right? It has a little character, so I do like that little piece that's right there, so I'm going to leave it there. So very cool. So what I'm going to do one more thing is just to show you a little bit about those pigments, and you can kind of see what you can do with them. And I'll be right back. Okay, I have a piece of paper here ready, but let me open this up. And in the next video, I will go through all the colors. I just want to pull some out and see what we can do with this. If you're looking at just regular stamping. So, you know, I was looking at these and it is a lot. Usually when you buy mica powders, they're like in a little tiny thing like this, especially for nails or stuff like that. But these guys are huge jars. Look how pretty that looks. Just, I know maybe the camera's not picking it up as well. As I'm looking down in here, I can just see like just beautiful shimmer. Look at that right there. Oh my gosh, these are definitely going to go on my nails. And you can use these with gel polish, with acrylic powders, whatever it is that you want to use them with. Look at that. So pretty. I would say they're mostly pretty filled up. Like these guys are pretty full. I did notice this one has a little bit less in it, and I don't know if that just has to do with the pigment itself or if that's just how it is. This one's all filled up. But, wow. Again, these kind of golder colors have a little bit less inside of the bottles. Look at that. Okay. Oh, maybe we'll use this one. Sure, rose pink. So what I'm going to do real quickly is just stamp. You can use anything. Pigment ink is good because it doesn't dry very quickly, so it takes a little while to dry. So you could use it and then put some of your pigments on it. It does come with a little spoon that you can use. I think I'm just going to sprinkle it, but actually I'll probably just dip in there with a brush. So I'm going to use the word create. I'm going to use my Versa mark. Just always make sure that's nice and on there pretty good. I'm just going to put the word create on here. And I can see that stamped because I had that other color on there, so I can see it pretty well. Hope you guys can see that too. And I'm just going to take like a brush. Let me see if I have a soft brush. I don't think I have a soft brush. Let me see here. Okay, this one's not soft. Not ideal. Let me grab a different brush like this. A makeup brush works, even just whatever it is that you would like to use, but now this one has a lot of color to it, so it might be that it's going to stick to the paper too. We will see. I really just want it to stick to my letters, but we'll see how the pigment works out. Again, since I'm cheap, I would love to do and push this back into here, but for now I'm just going to flick it off. Ooh. Yeah, I can almost brush off the extra that didn't stick to the thing, so not too bad. If I keep working on it, I can brush that away, but look at that. And look how pretty that pigment is. Again, you can do just a whisper of it with like some of the colors that are more like ghosting. This one obviously has a rose color to it that's really gorgeous. So I just want to show you a little something, and maybe I'll finish up, do a little border on this so it's actually like a little note card there. But thank you so much, Arteza, for sending these items for my review. Keep an eye out for the review of the pigments, mica powders, should I say. This one looks like it has pigment and mica, or I guess it's just mica. Really pretty set. As far as these, you know, it's funny because I always like, oh, I have a craft knife, you know, but this hobby set is actually really, really nice. So I'm really happy to have this. And again, the links will be in the description box. Lots of functionality here. You can use it on lots of different projects. And I'll see you guys. Just real quick before I go, when I was reading or showing you guys that some are a little higher and some are a little lower, it says that they are packed by weight, not volume. So some pigments are naturally heavier than others and can settle over time. That's why I noticed the gold ones were a little lower in the bottle. So there's your answer. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you all at the next one. Bye now.